Oh, hi there, and welcome to another episode of One of Swords TV. Yeah, I felt like doing two before the holiday. I am here to answer your questions about Activision and Activision gaming in general. Just send them to YouTube at oneofswords.com, and you might get your response right here. I have one from Amarildo Kula. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. I'm not necessarily the best with unusual names, at least. In any case, he asks, can you ask Vaughn, meaning David Vonderhaar from Treyarch, can you ask Vaughn if there was any chance of releasing a Call of Duty Black Ops Zombies on the Vita like they've done on iOS and Android? The Vita would seem to be a perfect platform for it. It would, wouldn't it? And yet, it's not really Vaughn's call, to be completely honest with you. When games like that come out, like there are iOS and Android versions of Zombies as its own set thing, that's kind of a higher level decision, and then they say, do you think that this makes sense to do it? What other kind of games are on that platform? Can we do this game justice if we do it that way? So it wouldn't necessarily be Vaughn, and to be fair, the PlayStation Vita game that has come out, Call of Duty Black Ops Declassified, was not developed by Treyarch anyway. It was developed by Nihilistic. So that whole thing was like a side project that ties into the narrative and the story of bridges the gap between the two Black Ops games, but when it comes to extending the game to other platforms and making other sort of side stories, sometimes the original team, the original team always has input on it, but they don't necessarily do all of it. Even those iOS and Android games were done by an outside studio working with Treyarch. So go easy on Vaughn, I guess is what I'm saying, because it's not always his decision what happens, even though he is a key member of the Treyarch team. Another question that, Kula, by the way, his PSN ID is DropTech, which is a heck of a lot easier to say and spell. He says, I haven't played Black Ops Declassified yet, although I am getting it, so I can't speak from any personal knowledge, but reading reviews, both professional and user, it seems one common complaint about the multiplayer in that game is that the maps are extremely small, even for 4 versus 4, because the Vita game only supports 4-on-4 gameplay. Do you know if there are any plans for supporting that title with map packs, maybe even some bigger maps? Not that I've heard, to be completely honest. DLC is always a possibility, but I'm not aware of any in development. The beautiful thing about the world that we live in now is that you can add content to just about any platform, but there has to be a desire for it. I don't know how that game sold, for instance. I think that would probably be a factor to whether or not it gets DLC. That seems to always be a factor. Is it successful enough, and are enough people asking for it? So it could happen. I don't know. Nihilistic has moved to be a purely mobile games developer, so that may make it a little bit tricky. I don't know if they would necessarily do the DLC. I doubt that they would be adding much larger maps, because the point was to constantly keep people engaged, so that you could not only play 4-on-4 with 8 players, but also have an enjoyable game with 2-on-2. Remember, the maximum is not necessarily always what people wind up playing with. So I don't know of anything for DLC. DLC is obviously a possibility. Many other titles do it on the Vita. I've bought a lot of pinball machine tables for both Zen Pinball and Pinball FX. Zen Pinball 2 on the Vita, and also Pinball Arcade. So it can be done, but I wouldn't hold your breath for it, because I think there are other factors at work that may determine whether or not something like that would get made. So possible, but not something I can confirm, not something I have any information about. I hope that helped. I kind of feel like I was not very helpful this time, but maybe I can be helpful next time. If you have a question for me, go to YouTube at oneofswords.com and just send an email to that address, and I will get to it whenever I can get to it. The rest of my stuff is at oneofswords.com. You can look there for blogs and giveaways and podcasts and much merriment and silliness, and hopefully some useful information there too. So thanks again for watching One of Swords TV. I will see you later. Have a good one.